It's Thursday, October 1st, 2020. Episode Cero Dos. If you're keeping track. That's for all my Spanish friends out there. You are about to go down the rabbit hole with Joe and Brian. I'm Brian. With me, as always, my good friend Joe. Joe, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm doing all right. Doing okay, I suppose. All things considered, right?
All things considered, but we're still
All
winning.
things considered, yeah. I'm a little bummed, man. I've been going this entire week thinking that looking forward to another F1 race weekend. And I went and looked at the schedule earlier today, and I realized there's no race this weekend. It's next weekend. So I'm a little bummed, man.
Well, hey, I mean, at least you have something to look forward to, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt compelled to share, but I did.
Well, speaking of sharing.
Yes. You know what? I got something for that.
Motherfucker, give me 2 fingers of Southern Comfort.
Yes. So, Joe, what did the bartender bring you tonight?
The bartender thought I was pretty basic, and so he brought me a grapefruit juice and rum.
Okay.
It is very delicious.
Well, the episode that we had last week that no one listened to, we went in depth into Southern Comfort, the alcohol of Southern Comfort, and so yeah, I went out and I bought a bottle of Southern Comfort. I bought this. I didn't go into a store and stare at the shelves and compare. I bought these online and went and picked them up. And so when I bought them, I had the choice.
Sorry, what? They wouldn't deliver?
No, they won't deliver. I don't know what it is with Kentucky laws and getting alcohol delivered, but it's still for the most part, a no-go. But
it seems like they want you to get in your car, to ride out, and get your booze. They want you to put some effort into it.
And what does it say about me that I don't want to even put forth that much effort?
It says you're serious.
But I did drive there. It was curbside pickup though, so I didn't have to get out of the car. But anyway, I believe I had the option of buying 100 proof or 80 proof.
Which one?
So I bought the 100 proof.
Hey, man proof.
Yeah. And so I've got a shot here in front of me. Smelling it, it reminds me when I was a kid, and I don't know if anyone else recalls this or not. I've tried to even talk to my brother about this, and he doesn't even recall it. But I remember that they used to you get sick, and they always prescribed. I'm positive it was penicillin. There's always penicillin for this, penicillin for that.
Yeah, that's for infection.
Yeah, and we would always. I remember getting it in this bottle. It was like antifreeze green. The liquid was just super sugary, so sugary that by the end of the week that you're trying to take the medicine, the sugar crystals have formed up around the top of the thing. It's just so much sugar. I guess to get little kids to drink it. But that's what this smells like right now. Smelling this.
Really?
Yeah.
It smells like
cough. It smells like it's like medicine or cough syrup or something.
That's not a good sign, man.
So I'm gonna take a sip.
Oh yeah, you don't smell any woods or oaks or cherries or
shit. No, hell no.
Yeah.
Nothing like that, man.
Did you swirl it around the glass?
Yeah, I'll swirl it around here a little bit.
Aerate it. And you just put take a nice deep whiff.
No, you're reminding me of that Dennis Leary bit.
Oh, he's like, this is a 50-year whiskey.
Yeah.
Take the words and the tones and
He slams it down and says, "Yeah, give me another."
So, you slam it yet?
Whew.
That didn't seem like it went all that well.
It is super sweet, man. And it's super sweet, but at the same time, yeah, it's definitely high octane. Good Lord. That's half the shot. I don't think I want to take the rest of it.
Do you feel hair springing up on your chest?
I already had.
Sorry, more hairs.
Oh, more hairs. Yeah. They're popping in as we speak, man. That is. I don't know about that, man.
So
I couldn't drink this regularly.
So is this is it hardcore? Is it just nasty?
It's just super sweet, but the alcohol is.
It sounds like you might need to cut that with some lemon juice.
Oh goodness!
And ice.
Well, fortunately, my bartender brought me also some. You might want to check your breathing there, Joe. We're getting some sounds. Everyone should know that we're still dealing with some sound problems, folks, but it's better than last week. My bartender also brought me some Coke, coconut rum, and some mango pineapple juice. It looks like muddy water, but it smells really good.
Yeah, drink that. Actually, are you sure you don't need to clear the palate or clean the palate after that Southern Comfort stuff?
This cleansed the palate nicely.
So what's your so it seemed like a no bueno on the Southern Comfort.
Not a fan of Southern Comfort, man.
How much of it do you have left? Did you buy a fifth?
Yeah, I bought a fifth, it's quite a bit left there.
Oh, now you get to get creative with it, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, maybe it'd be better if you cut it with some Coke or something like that.
Now,
not the drug, the drink.
Well, to say, holy crap, Brian, you went off the rails.
Take a line of Coke and take a shot of Southern Comfort. Oh my God, we've went off the rails.
Yes,
we've went off the rails, man.
Stop the recording.
Goodness. All right, if people are still around, people are still listening, we would like to remind you to please like this episode, share this episode, and hit the subscribe button. And go ahead and hit the little bell if you want to be notified when a new episode drops. And Joe, I actually got notified last week's episode before you even notified me. YouTube notified me.
Oh, good. Very good.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I finished it and then I just set it on schedule until it was scheduled to come out, and I think I was probably in the wind when it actually dropped.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We discussed this earlier, but I don't believe there's any George Floyd updates this week or Ahmaud Arbery. Is that correct, Joe?
Yes, that is correct. There are no new updates on George Floyd or the Ahmaud Arbery case. However, we did find an interesting tidbit about the law that's being claimed as a defense to the murder charges against the McMichaels. Or McWilliams?
Yeah.
McWho's?
Those rednecks.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, them guys. Yeah, this is unfortunately it's not so much an article as it is a video, so we need to watch it and parse it out and see what's in it. But apparently, the origins of that law is kind of shameful. What would you say? It was put in place as a way to keep black people in check or something like that. Would you say?
To keep the black man down.
Yeah.
So, literally. But yeah, that's something we can look forward to next week. But no direct updates on either of their cases.
God damn, that Southern Comfort hit my head right now, man.
Really?
Wow.
Like, is it like a
100 proof ain't no joke, man.
Apparently not. And
Although, what did your sister send you? This was
165 proof. Once again, this is my kid sister, Christina. Hi, Chris.
That's ridiculous, man. Like we said, it's like, yeah, this my gin ain't strong enough. I need it to be like almost 100% alcohol.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious,
yeah,
man.
This gin isn't strong enough. Said by no one.
No one ever.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Anyway.
They should call that stuff Widowmaker, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be alcohol poisoning is going to spike. So I'm excited about this next story because it gives me a chance to talk about a person who used to be a friend of mine. And I'd say he's still a friend. We've lost touch, as you do. You know, I don't know where he's at anymore. And I'm not going to say his name. But
let's tell about it.
Yeah. Well, let's hit this article first. It's and if you don't object, I'll just go ahead and read this here.
Sure.
A black fourth grader was suspended for having a BB gun visible in his online class. A Louisiana school suspended and nearly expelled a fourth grader for unintentionally showing a BB gun during his virtual class. Ka Maury Harrison, a 9-year-old in Harvey, Louisiana, moved a BB gun that his younger brother tripped on during an English test. NOLA.com reported. The teacher attempted to speak to him, but because he muted the computer for the test, he was disconnected from the class. The school then called his parents to notify them of his suspension. Basically, what I'm envisioning is, you know, I mean, I guess, you know, we've all during this COVID time, we've all been doing video conferencing, and I'm guessing it sounds like there's just, you could see this BB gun in the background, and that was enough to get him expelled, suspended?
Apparently. And this happened pretty quickly.
Yeah. It sounds like the same day, right?
I mean, the way it reads is like the teacher was trying to get in contact with him, and that didn't work until she pressed a button and then, talked to the principal and got him suspended. Wow.
Yeah, it's just that just blows my mind, man. And this story is like really heavy on the fact that he's black, but I don't know that that's so much a part of the story as the hypersensitivity of the school.
I think the fact that he's black impinges heavily on the story.
Really?
I think so. I think if this kid was white, we would not be reading about it.
Oh, but nah, I don't buy that. I don't buy it.
No. I mean, if you get pulled over, and if I get pulled over, how confident are you that we're going to have the same experience with with the officer that pulls us over?
I can't speak to that because I don't know, man. I see. I look. I don't. That's not a fair question. There's all the circumstances. The circumstances are all
Oh,
all different, and
let's see. Another way to get a crack at this nut. So you're saying the circumstances? Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Would you say that after?
have you ever been pulled over?
Oh yeah, I've been pulled over.
Has a cop ever pulled you out of the car, beat the shit out of you, taking you to jail? What?
No, that's never happened to me.
Why not? I mean, if it's so rampant, why hasn't that happened for the times that you've been pulled over?
The last time I was pulled over was 10 years ago.
Okay.
So you're saying that if it wasn't rampant, sorry, because it is rampant, that should have happened to me by now. Is that what you're saying?
I don't like these. So this is what you're saying kind of things, but you know, if you show a cop respect, and unless the cop is just one of these a bad apple that we've talked about, you know,
he's more than a bad apple in that case.
Look, I got pulled over driving 100 miles an hour, man, and
survived.
A shit ton of yes sirs, no sirs, yes sirs, no sirs, thank you sirs. Later, he let me go. Well, he didn't take me to jail. So if you show these people, whether they deserve it or not, if you show them respect, and I know saying this that there's like a million people out there are like rolling their eyes at me. I get it. I do.
Yeah, I don't think you get it, man.
But I don't. But then again, you can't. But when you hear stories, I mean, there have been stories out there of like little kids, little white boys, being expelled from school because they made a gun with their fingers, their hands. You know, little. Race. I don't think race has anything to do with this particular story. It's the fact that guns is the big. Guns is the central thing.
Let's see here. The school suspended Harrison for violating their policy on handling weapons in a classroom setting and the school's internet policy, according to the report. Expulsion had been recommended, but the school's hearing officer later opted to not expel Harrison. Let's see here. The fourth grader's suspension is one of several instances of black children being disciplined during the disorganized shift to online school, further perpetuating the racial bias in education. In May, a Michigan judge incarcerated a 15-year-old black girl for not completing her homework, leading to protests and petitions demanding her release. In Colorado, a school suspended and sent a sheriff to a 12-year-old black boy's home for showing his toy BB gun in class. Black students are disproportionately suspended or expelled on one of the ways that make up school. Black students are disproportionately suspended or expelled. One of the ways that make up the school discipline pipeline. In Minneapolis, black students make up 41% of overall student population, but 76% of suspension. In Paramus, New Jersey, black students are 12.4 times more likely to get suspended than their white counterparts. So between 2015 and 2016. So you're saying that it's not the gun. Sorry, it's not the race. It's the gun. But it seems as if there's data to suggest otherwise.
You know what? Maybe this school has a problem. That's entirely possible. But I can probably find you 100 stories about white kids being expelled for stupid shit like this.
I'm not going to say that white kids are not suspended for stupid stuff. But what I am going to say is that the data suggests and shows that black children, although a smaller proportion of the population, are suspended and expelled at higher rates. thus suggesting that that race is a factor. And I don't. You can minimize it all you want, but you can't escape that. And so, once again, I'm allowing for all the little white boys and little white girls are getting suspended for stuff, but it's still happening to black students at a higher rate.
Well, okay, if those are the numbers, I won't argue with them, but I will still say that in this particular story, I think the gun and the hypersensitivity to boys boys, but just, I guess, just guns in general. I think this is more about guns than race, but
I think it's a hyper. I think there's two things at play. I think you're right. Hypersensitivity to guns and hypersensitivity and desire to to suspend and expel black children, especially boys. That's all.
okay, so let me tell you about my friend.
Right. This friend whose name we shall not use.
We won't use his name. But this dude, and this is just because this is more of a story about the sign of the times. But I can remember first of all, this kid, he was always the kind of, his dad was like ex-military, and this kid was always about. I mean, that was his thing. He was going to go into the army. That was his thing. And I mean, it's like he was always like, every time I'd see him, he was always trying to make weapons or to do some crazy stuff. And he would he would come into class. I remember like in grade school, he made like this gun out of, obviously not a real gun, but he made like this gun out of I don't know, clothespins and rubber bands and whatnot. And it launched projectiles, and I can remember him bringing that to school, and if a kid got caught today with that, he would be expelled or worse. But as time went on, he was just always obsessed with weapons and whatnot. He's always trying to make bombs and shit. And I can remember him coming into school and talking about how he was working on like flash bulbs for cameras to try to get them to like ignite gunpowder and stuff. And no, this kid would have been flagged big time today and shipped off.
Would have been part of the trench coat mafia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But dude, we had this assignment in seventh.
What year was this? About what year was this?
These are in mid to late. This would be the late 80s.
All right. So assignment?
Yeah, so in like 7th or 8th grade, we had this assignment we were supposed to, it was in art class, we were supposed to write and draw a storybook. And we would do that, and then another class would take that storybook to the elementary and read it to, like, little 2nd, 3rd, 4th graders there. They would read it. And this dude, my school was Fairfield, FHS, Fairfield High School Local. And he wrote, his story was called Massacre at FHS.
Oh my God.
And he went into explicit detail about all of these teachers in our school killing them.
What? Wait. Wait, and this kid wasn't arrested after
He was
the fourth grader?
that got him called to the not the principal's office so much as it was the
Superintendent's office?
what's the woman? Who's the not the woman, but who's the person who they always joke about their jobs being pointless, but the counselor, like a
Oh, okay, the school counselor?
yeah, like the school career counselor or something. I don't know, but I remember he got called to this. I'm sure the principals were involved, but and the parents were called. His parents were called in and everything, and it was. But that still is one of the craziest memories that I have of this dude. But I gotta say, after he graduated and lost touch, and he kind of, you know, you go your separate ways. Before we graduated, he moved, and he did join the army, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. He was like involved in some like. He was doing like undercover drug operations or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man, but I remember like in '95, I had my car wreck in '94, I think, and he got in touch with me like '95, '96 maybe, and we met up. We met up at the it was at a neutral area, like at the Dayton Mall, and he had this guy with him that I don't know how he knew him, but it was like talking to a different guy, man. He was like he had done some fucked up shit. You could just tell that he had done some fucked up shit because he was just talking about what he had been doing, and I was like, yeah. So you ever kill anyone? And he just got real quiet. And I was just like, and just like all the air got sucked out of the room, and I was just like,
oh crap!
Oh shit!
He's that guy.
This dude who I would have considered already unstable, just yeah, he was like over the edge. And so I don't know, man. Last I heard, I think this dude was doing like maybe security or something for different groups in around the Dayton area, but
So he's like a mall cop, or he's like private security?
No, I think he did security for like music acts, and then maybe I don't know. He's doing. I think last I heard he was doing something with security, but God help if he was a mall cop. God help
the mall.
all the little mall rats out there, man.
Well, there aren't any mall rats anymore. They're all
no. I know. But anyway, I seen this story and I was like. This because I wanted to tell the story about this dude, man. I think I'd mentioned him before to you.
I'm pretty sure you have, but hey,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I just want to, and to punctuate that last point I made,
okay.
Specifically,
yeah.
Black boys represented 8% of all enrolled students from 2015 to 2016, but accounted for a whopping 25% of all school suspensions, according to the U.S. Department of Education. So, if you
I won't try to justify that. That's fucked up.
No. I mean, it seems to me that my thing is like, yeah, black boys are. I say black boys are. I don't want to say targeted, are punished more harshly than white children. And your point was no. I've heard all these examples of little white kid, getting suspended for stupid stuff, and I'm like, okay.
Not stupid stuff, stupid gun shit. Right. I think it's more about gun. We have went overboard on guns in this country.
And so, I'll grant you, we've gone overboard with guns. Probably, rightly so in terms of school. But I think, being a black, basically, what I was going to say is if you were to line up 100 students and have them proportionally represented in terms of how they make up the population, eight of those students would be black boys, but wow, what's that? 25, so 8 of them will be black. Wow, So I mean, yeah, I lost my point, but I think you put your finger on guns, and I'm like, no, it's the fact that you're black. He's black that this has happened to him. So there you have it.
Just for giggles, just for shits and giggles, and since we're playing with like statistics again, what if we had 100 kids? 50 of them were white boys and 50 of them were black girls. How do you think it would shake down?
I think I remember hearing about this before, and I think black girls were suspended at about the same rate as white girls.
No, but I'm saying black girls and white boys.
So you're asking how many would be suspended?
Yeah. What do you think?
Maybe that's further down the article. Let me check. Well, sorry, that's not what you're asking. No, what would
I doubt that it's going to be in the article because they don't. I don't think they keep statistics for stuff like that.
If they kept statistics for black boys being suspended, why wouldn't they keep statistics for black girls being suspended?
That's a good question.
So yeah, I think it's out there, but we just don't have that information right here at our fingertips. It's not something.
Okay.
Fine.
And it's neither here. It's neither here nor there.
No, but to answer your question, maybe not 25%. That's a huge number, 8%. But 8% of the students, but 25% of all the suspended kids. That's a lot of suspending.
It's just interesting in this entire article. It's not blacks. It's black boys. It's always black boys, black boys, black boys.
Well, sometimes black boys get their shine. This is not the best type of shine to have, but
well, understood. And I like I said, I didn't mean to denigrate or take away from it, but anyway, we're just repeating ourselves now.
No, just close. I didn't take you as denigrating it, but I did take you as thinking that something else was the cause. You put the emphasis on gun, and I put the emphasis on black, and I think, I think that last factor what I read off, suggested black as well. But we can revisit this some other time when we get more information.
Sure.
What else is on tap?
Well, this one, this next story kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Awful taste. Awful
taste. And you know what? I feel I have no pity. I have no pity for this dude.
Yeah. This guy likes suffering. It seemed like he took suffering to a high art.
Yeah, a man dies after eating a bag and a half of black licorice every day for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
I think I would have sooner have cut my tongue out before having done that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
A Boston area construction worker died last year after eating a bag and a half of black licorice every day for 2 weeks, according to a case report published today in the New England Journal of Medicine. The candy, as well as many others, contains glycyrrhizic acid, which can interfere with the body's nutrient balance and lead to heart rhythm problems. And while there are reports of other complications from excess licorice consumption, including hypertension and muscle weakness, death by excess black licorice is extremely rare. No shit. One, nobody eats black licorice to that extreme. Jesus Christ. I mean, I like, what? Twix, but I'm not going to eat,
a Twix and a half every day. Yeah, I think that'll be easy to do.
No, Twix and a half, but a bag of liquor, a bag of Twix would probably be like I don't know. I'm not going to eat a pound of Twixes every day. You know what I'm saying?
But yep, you might as well look at when you're doing that. You might as well look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I hate you."
When you consume that much of any one thing, you're asking for trouble. Wasn't there a movie or a documentary a while back about some guy who did nothing but eat McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for like a month?
Yeah, I think it was. What was it?
And then reported on his health. If you do that to your body, you got to expect some negative results, man.
I was so hoping that he would not survive the movie.
Oh, that'd have been great, wouldn't it? if that's how the documentary ended. We'd like to tell you that this had a happy ending, but unfortunately, the filmmaker died from hypertension and heart attack.
Yeah, I remember watching that video and be like, "Yeah, this guy. If I were to meet him, and, he did not seem like a guy I would like to meet in real life. I remember like before he was supposed to start the, he seemed really whiny and the day before I'm going to have some delicious vegetables. Yum 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 yum. And I'm like,
So you've seen that documentary?
Oh, I've seen it. I can't remember. I mean, I think it was called Super Size Me.
Oh, that's a great name. That'd be a great. Yeah, that sounds right. That does sound right because restaurants always want to supersize you. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
But he every day for a month, and he gained like 25 pounds, and all of his readings were off the chart. Yeah. But I mean, I can't imagine the amount of self-loathing involved in someone saying, "You know what? I'm going to eat a bag and a half of licorice every day."
Oh my God. Oh.
I mean, I remember getting that stuff. Like when it's Halloween now, so
it's like a bad joke.
Yeah, like the person will give you like licorice, black licorice. I mean, Twizzlers, the red licorice was bad enough, but black licorice, terrible.
Did they deserve? Did you go back with eggs later that night and teach them a lesson?
No, not eggs.
No.
Molotov cocktail. Shame.
Oh my God. he's little trick or treat Joe was out for blood.
Oh my goodness! Now, of course, that was a joke.
Yeah. As far as we know.
As far as we know.
Check the records, people.
Yeah, that whole rash of fire bombings in 1994 in St. Louis.
Yeah, no relation.
That.
Nothing to do with Joe.
Yeah, I was literally whistling Dixie. But no, yeah, but speaking about that guy dying from licorice, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there a story on death and taxes that we wanted to cover as well?
Yeah, I think we can do that. So people have been obsessed since the beginning of before Trump got elected in 2016 about his taxes and constantly are like, release him, and he's always been like, no, I'm under audit, I can't release him. And I think a couple of years ago, even Rachael Madeow got a hold of some tax returns, and she was all gushy and squishy. Sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize.
AKA very excited.
She was excited, but I can't remember, but they didn't tell her, they didn't give her the satisfaction that she wanted. But we got another tax release story that came out. Yeah, that came out just this week, I believe.
I actually remember that story that you were referring to.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I think it showed that he made more money than previously thought and paid more taxes than previously thought.
It was one of those. I think what made that story so great was that Rachael Madeow went on air to read it before she knew exactly what was in it. Because I think you could kind of like see the air coming out of, kind of deflating as she read it, because it wasn't what she was expecting. I don't think, kind of like that. The prosecutors, you don't ask questions that you don't know the answer to, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because the answer may be detrimental to your case and all. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But apparently, this way, I don't know. This what do I have in this article? I have the New York Times 10,000 word Trump tax expose reveals no Russian links, no illegality, and admits the left will be unfulfilled by the report. I think I don't have. This isn't too long. I don't have everything too long. Let me read through this. Claiming to have obtained Donald Trump's tax information extending over more than 2 decades, the New York Times admits its findings amount to problems most businesses deal with: struggling properties, vast write-offs, and an audit battle. The article also admits the filings will leave many questions unanswered, many questioners unfulfilled, and also kills off the idea that President Trump's finances were somehow linked to Russia. The piece reads, nor do the tax returns reveal any previously unreported connections to Russia. Trump called the central claim the New York Times makes, that he only paid $750 in federal income taxes, fake news in a press conference on Sunday evening. A lawyer for the president said, over the past decade, President Trump has paid tens of millions of dollars in personal taxes to the federal government, including paying millions in personal taxes since announcing his candidacy in 2015. The New York Times failed to include the details of the returns in its reporting, admitting in its own article the Times declined to provide the records in order to protect its sources. I don't know what the date range was, but I mean, doesn't the president donate his salary to like a charity every year or every quarter or whatever?
My understanding that he does not take his salary and that he donates something.
Well, if you don't take an income, then obviously you're not going to pay an income tax. But I don't. But again, I don't know what dates. Maybe they're talking about some other dates. But besides that's, I know that rich people, they all have their loopholes.
Wait. But if he's a billionaire, so let's say there are 2 ways to be a billionaire. One, to be a billionaire in cash. You have cash money on hand, and the other way is to have $1 billion of assets. So buildings, cars, jets, goodwill.
Okay.
And so, presumably, it seems to me that if you're a billionaire, either way, you should have more than $750 that you're paying. You should have income that's more than $750 in any given year if you're a billionaire. To me, like, the fact that he could only pay $750 in taxes, it almost screams, maybe not illegality, but it's one of those things that doesn't add up, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. But I would,
you probably paid more taxes than Donald Trump. And are you a billionaire, Brian?
No, I'm not.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Huh. I mean, you could be the billionaire next door for all we know. But, so a billionaire pays $750 in income taxes. Now, were those his personal income taxes? Like, how much Donald Trump made as opposed to how much Donald Trump, the corporation, makes? Because I assume that Donald Trump is a man, but I also assume that he has like a corporation, the Donald Trump Corporation, for which he's probably an employee of, something like that.
Well, we don't know because the New York Times declined to provide the records in order to protect its sources. We don't know. That's what they're telling us, though.
Yeah, I think we need to, and this is probably something that's going to, not going to be easy, and is likely to take more time than we expect. But I think we need to do something for the people so we can all figure out how to pay less than, less than $1,000 in income taxes.
I mean, Trump has talked about suspending the income tax, the federal income tax, for like the rest of the year or something as a COVID, as a whatever, like a COVID payment. I would love to see that. I think that the taxes in this country are illegal themselves, and the rich people write the tax laws so that they don't have to pay taxes, and it's us plebes that they're the ones that suffer, and we're the ones that can never acquire wealth because the government takes half of what we earn every week, and it's just this is bigger than Donald Trump, and while he's the one being beat over the head about it right now, all these rich motherfuckers in Washington are responsible and should be, they could fix this. They could fix this overnight if they wanted to. Get rid of all these tax loopholes and whatnot, but it'll never happen because they benefit from it just as much as Donald Trump does.
Yeah, I
different set of rules, man.
I can't disagree with that. That sounds, to me, yeah, the very fact that they said $750, it's, probably no criminality occurred, it probably was in line with the letter of the law, but not the spirit, or maybe with the spirit as well. But
right,
that's how something, something doesn't add up.
I mean, wasn't it during the 2000s? I don't know when it was, but didn't Warren Buffett come out and talk about how his secretary paid more income tax than he did?
I think he said something like she paid a higher rate.
All these rich motherfuckers. The Bill Gates, the Warren Buffetts, all these people who say that we need to raise taxes. Fuck that. You know what? We need to drop the income tax, and we need to institute a super aggressive wealth tax. And I'll bet you that all these rich fucks they'll suddenly shut the hell up, because I'm sorry guys, I've been dropping the F-bomb a lot here. It's I swear it's a combination of this that Southern Comfort and this really stiff coconut rum concoction I put together. But they get rid of the property tax, or not property, the income tax, institute a really, really aggressive wealth tax, and all these and watch all these rich fucks suddenly shut up about taxes.
I don't think they'd shut up. I think they would. I think they would squeal. And
good, squeal. Yeah. Let them squeal.
Yeah. And then they would pick up their phone and they call their congressman. Congressman would pick up probably, his personal line, and be like, I see that you called Mr. Moneybags. How can I be of assistance? And
yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, I say something to the effect of, I saw my taxes, my tax bill, and I didn't like it, and I need to do something about that. Snap his fingers, or click his heels, and set off to work. So, yeah.
What? But I thought you said we needed to pay more taxes in this country.
Yeah. No.
No, we need to keep the plebes. We need to keep the plebes down. That's what we need to do.
The plebes,
take their money.
They don't have any money.
That's right, baby. That's right.
But, I mean, this, terrible news. And is Donald Trump a bad guy for taking advantage of it?
I don't think so. I would urge anyone who can to take advantage if you can. Pay as little taxes as you can get away with, man. Fuck seriously, man. I'm about as anti-tax as you're going to come across, man. So yeah, good for Trump and good for anyone who's able to, because
taxes are the price we pay to live in a civilized society, Brian.
You know, it shouldn't be an income tax.
So you're not against?
There's plenty of there's a shit ton of taxes in everything is taxed in this country. It shouldn't be an income. There shouldn't be an income tax. You can tax plenty of stuff, but you shouldn't tax people's income. People shouldn't. You know, what's that? You work until, you know, what do they say? You work until like May, until the money you make actually is yours. Whatever that is. Yeah. No, you can't. You can't do it. You can't really. It's hard for. I don't want to say. I'm talking about middle class people. It's hard to acquire any kind of real savings or wealth when you're having a third or more of your income taken.
Yeah, before you can even count it, you don't pay taxes; they take it.
Yeah. And there's plenty of things that you can tax. There's plenty of things that are already taxed, and there's other ways if you have to, but there shouldn't be an income tax.
We should start a Brian tax.
A Brian tax, huh?
Yeah.
Everyone pays me?
No. Everyone named Brian.
Oh. No. I prefer everyone pays me.
No. Everyone named Brian has to pay taxes, like a special tax, just for being named Brian. And
son of a bitch.
Yeah. But speaking of sons of bitches.
Yeah, where are you taking us now, Joe?
Next story.
I smell what the Rock is cooking, and it's spoiled as. I'm not going to say it.
Oh, so was that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson endorses Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in his first public political backing?
Yeah.
But
God damn it!
Was it a surprise?
It was a bit. I really had held out. I thought that he might have been like a closet Republican or maybe a libertarian or something.
Yeah, but that Southern Comfort's hitting real hard, man.
I mean, I really could have seen myself supporting him in a future presidential run.
Nah, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson isn't running for no president.
Maybe not this year or next year, but you know, why not in 10, 15 years?
Because he's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He was a football player, a professional wrestler, and an actor. The amount of dirt that is in his file would likely preclude him from running for president. With the exception of the brief flirtation with the 2020 presidential run himself, Johnson, 48, often takes great pains to remain apolitical at a time when Hollywood is seemingly filled to the brim with activism. However, the Jumanji star took to Instagram on Sunday, where he shared a video of a virtual conversation he had with the two Democratic candidates, and officially gave them his endorsement.
Well,
I mean,
who do you think? Do you think he has more dirt in his background than Trump did? I'll say this, and I know, as soon as I say this, I'm going to feel the universe's collective sigh at me. But
again,
I would almost argue that Donald Trump is quite possibly our most cleanest, most pure president ever. I mean, if you look at the anal cavity
What?
search that he's been going through since even before he was signed in or sweared in, and nothing and nothing has come out of it. I think he got to be pretty damn clean.
You mean all the hookers and what's her name, the Playboy folks and
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, nothing. Nothing. I mean, what do we really want to talk about politicians' infidelities?
oh no, I mean like, but you said clean. I mean, yeah. I mean,
There was nothing.
no. You said you didn't just say clean. You said the most clean.
You know what? I'll stand by it. I don't know, man.
I think you might need to step off that one. The most clean, like now, mind you, he's he and he's the president, so yeah, none of those guys are per se clean. Just look at Bill Clinton. No, just too many skeletons in the closet to count. Obama, likely some skeletons in the closet, but Trump being the most clean. Now, I would probably say Jimmy Carter was probably the most clean because he had that situation where he had lust in his heart for like a secretary or something like that. But like Trump, he didn't just have lust in his heart; he literally would go grab them by the what?
He didn't do that.
Oh, he didn't say he did that, but he's like you could.
See, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm tired of hearing about. I'm not tired of hearing that as well. That's about as bad as the whole Charlottesville hoax. All he was doing is talking about fucking gold diggers, man. Women who will do anything to be around money. That's all he was talking about. We act like that it was some horrible thing that he said, but all he's doing was talking about gold diggers. Hip hop artists have been talking about gold diggers since there's been hip hop. So Donald Trump, he said it in a crude way, but that's all he was talking about was gold diggers, women who will do anything to be around power and money.
And as we all know, those women don't exist.
Shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that the wrong reaction?
That's an absolute fantasy of your imagination.
I guess so. But it was yeah. When he said that, it was funny to watch all the pearl clutching liberals just lose their mind because he dared say something like that.
Terrible, awful.
Oh my God, Joe. This. I don't know if we're only an hour into this, man, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Pretty good. That's a great way to be, man.
I know, but they call this stuff truth serum.
So maybe you should have that as a prerequisite for each show.
I don't know, man. If I had any supporters up until this show, man, I think I'm losing them.
I mean, you, that crowd of people forming outside your door.
Yeah, they're pulling out the pitchfork. They're pulling out the pitchforks now.
Like, hey, well, maybe we should switch gears to a less controversial topic. Something happened last week that that we kind of both were looking forward to, and we probably need to talk about briefly.
Yeah, we would be kicked out of the Current Events Podcast Club if we didn't mention the presidential debates that took place Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I told you I didn't watch them all. I didn't watch all of them. I watched about a half an hour's worth.
What?
Yeah, I didn't watch them from beginning to end. I just hate it. One, they're not talking to me. I'm not an undecided. I'm decided. And so, and all debates are is just, I don't know, two candidates on stage just bickering and some moderator. I don't know. It's hard for me to watch. I don't really care, but I did check out a little bit of it Tuesday because I felt like I needed to. What I do have, I did download a highlights of the debate from YouTube that I thought we could maybe play through and talk about.
Let's hear it.
But so let's see here. Listen, here's the first section, and I don't know who this woman is speaking. I'm just guessing she's from one of the cable news networks. But here we go.
It didn't take long for the first presidential debate to devolve into a chaotic shouting match between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden.
Know how strongly you feel. Let vote now. Make sure you, in fact, let people know you're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
the question is,
because it's radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who
For 9
Would you shut up, man? That's so yeah. There they were arguing about the whole packing of the courts thing, but I don't know. Any thoughts or insight into that, Joe?
Well, I think that President Trump won the first debate.
Okay.
I don't think he won it for what people might think the obvious reasons are.
Mm.
So I think the average person thinks of a presidential debate, as an opportunity to put forth a reasoned argument as to why they should be the commander in chief over the other guy. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. I don't want to say necessarily that Trump didn't win, but going into this, I think people, especially Trump supporters, was really expecting Trump to just run over Biden and say that one thing that puts Biden over the edge, and that he would have to be carried off stage by his handlers because he just had a complete meltdown or something like that. So that didn't happen.
Wait. I'm talking about setting the bar too high. So you guys thought that that Trump would say something that just made Biden just fall out, just have to be carried off the stage.
It
wasn't a boxing match, right, man?
It wasn't a boxing match, but just something to push him over the edge. Maybe I'm speaking with some hyperbole there, but
it seemed like you guys may have set the bar a little too high.
Yeah, maybe because Joe left the stage, and he didn't end up sounding. He didn't end up having the gaffes, I don't think, that people were expecting. And so in that case, if since he came away relatively unscathed, I think I could see the argument for saying that he may have won. But then again, like I said, I typically don't like listening to Trump talk. I don't know, just his style of speaking, it just makes me cringe. But he has different styles of speaking, and he talks to like he talks to the press in one way, he'll do a campaign speech another way. I liked whatever Trump was speaking during the debate, where he seems reasoned and the things that he says was like well thought out. I thought he was at least the most palatable for me to listen to.
Wait. I think it's important to realize that you have kind of a long-seated, deep hatred of Joe Biden.
Yeah, not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I can't remember. I can't remember us talking about Joe Biden, like, back in a long time ago, before he was the vice presidential candidate for
Sure.
Obama. And you just savaged him. It's like, it's like Joe Biden did something personally to Brian Newman. Did he?
Like, did he inappropriately touch a girlfriend of mine or something like that?
Or you?
Not me.
Yeah, just kidding.
No, but I'm not, just because I'm saying he may have. I'm saying he may have won because because he didn't have the meltdown that people were expecting. I don't know, man.
I think Trump won because his goal was to drive viewership of the second and third debates. So if there was a knockout and Joe Biden ended up spitting and stuttering and having to be carried off in a stretcher off the stage, I don't think too many more people would watch the second and third debate.
If he's playing that long game though, it may backfire because that people are theorizing that since he survived this debate the way he did, that he may not attend debates 2 and 3. I don't know if that's just what the people are saying.
Yeah, Trump's other goal was to frustrate Joe Biden's ability and desire to appear at the remaining 2 debates. So, I mean, how do you prepare against getting verbally battered like that? Does that make sense?
Right. Well, let's play some more.
50 minutes, Trump constantly interrupted Biden's answers and even the moderator's questions and requests, resulting in Americans hearing few details about either candidate's policies. But one of the president's responses, or lack thereof, heard loud and clear, was his refusal to condemn white supremacist groups.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. You want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and right
like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
And Biden.
So, yeah, that was that was an interesting bit. What were your thoughts on that, Joe?
That whole I didn't know what to deal with that. That was kind of a I didn't know what to deal with that.
I can I guess let me put on my Trump apologist hat
again. I mean,
yeah.
Did you ever take that thing off?
I guess not, but I can understand. A part of me wishes that he would have just said something to put the issue to bed.
What issue?
But I realized that that's impossible. How many times has he been asked and answered a question like that? And I understand where I think, of course, I can't read his mind. This is me. This is just me, I guess, speaking for me. But how do you like if I was asked, if I was asked that question, here's what I would say. I would have said something to the effect of, I condemn every group that represents white supremacists. But he couldn't. I wish he would have said something to that effect and stuck with it. But I don't know that would have worked, because they keep asking, they keep wanting to denounce this group, and if he would have announced that group, then there would have been another group, and then another, and you just can't. I don't think he can. The one thing he's always done good at is he doesn't debate people on. He doesn't let them set the
terms.
Yeah, he doesn't let them set the terms for the debate, and so while this came off, I think this came off sounding horrible for him. I understand why he did it, or why he refused to just play along, and it's also, and this isn't necessarily my observation. This is an observation that I got listening to Scott Adams. Chris Wallace basically dictating what Trump says is kind of like, it's like a power thing. Having one person saying, telling you what to say, and you saying it to make that person happy is like a power dynamic. And I could definitely see someone like Trump pushing back against, oh, you want me to say this? Well, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it just because you want me to say it, kind of a thing.
I get the feeling that Trump is a witty enough guy that he could have put this issue to bed had he chosen to.
Well, and that's the thing, and I think I mentioned this to you before we started recording. If I have my biggest problem, I think, and it's not just my problem, but a lot of people that I've heard, my friend and other people have said that he had the kill shot multiple times and he didn't take it.
Sorry. Yeah, I watched the debate at least twice, and I don't recall coming across any kill shots. Could you please help me out?
Okay, maybe not a kill. I can't. I told you I've only watched a half an hour of it, so I can't give you a kill shot.
Sure.
But there, opportunities to, like this, right here. This was an opportunity, I think, to maybe, and I don't know. We still have some more. We have some more clip to go through. Let's hear what else we got.
Back down from Trump's name calling, sending some of his own flights to the president.
Folks, do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
There's nothing smart about you. 47 years you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just tell you, sir,
you're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
No, nothing to. Let's move on. There's nothing really to talk about with that.
Still, for most of the night, the Democratic nominee looked to connect to voters by speaking straight to camera, like in this question, asking how they felt about Trump's coronavirus response.
Do you believe for a moment what he's telling you in light of all the lies he's told you about the whole issue relating to COVID? He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was happening, knew how dangerous it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you a lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter.
The president once again.
Yes, the whole COVID affair.
COVID affair?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's so easy for people to Monday morning quarterback, and I don't know how you can judge success or failure. How you can judge Trump with success or failure. What do you compare him to? There is no other country in the world like the United States. Every country, every region has its own dynamics. I mean, I don't know how you can look at Trump's handling of this and say that he failed somehow.
I can see how you could do that because you can't point to another global leader who downplayed this thing as much as he did.
Well, like I think like we discussed, I don't know if we discussed it on air or off, but
yeah, I think we discussed that on air.
Yeah, because that's where I said, lots of people in groups are stupid.
Yes.
And to have a president come out, if our president would have come out and played the doom and gloom card, I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, so we can have a situation where, he doesn't, come out and say, okay, your grandmother's going to die, but you could also, people are dumb, but they're not that dumb. We can, he didn't have, he could have said something to communicate the seriousness of the issue at hand.
Well, okay, but I don't know that he did he really necessarily downplay it that much?
Well, I mean, there's plenty of video of him saying how this is all going to just vanish, and as soon as the weather gets warm, and confining it to like a bad cold, and that's he said all that stuff in front of camera. So he did plenty to play it down.
Well, I still look at the fucking numbers, and I'm not convinced that this was anything more than a bad cold.
Yeah, I think you can, even if you don't think it was a bad cold, there's plenty of historical, precedent to suggest that, there are such things as pandemics, and pandemics can go around the world and kill millions of people. So, even if you didn't take it at face value, a quick look through your history book could have suggested that there was reason to take this very seriously. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. But so how many deaths have there been in the United States?
You listen to Trump. One was too many.
No, I'm asking how many.
Last time I heard it was 204,000.
204,000. Out of 3.5 or what 350 million people.
I thought 320, 340 for sure. We'll say 350.
Yeah, I just not seeing something to.
How many people die from drunk driving?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Or cancer, for that matter.
Yeah, how many?
Let's find out. Drunk driving. That's 2019. In 2018, there were 10,511 people killed in alcohol-impaired driving crashes, an average of one alcohol-impaired driving crash every 15 minutes. So 10,511 people died in 2018 from drunk driving.
Out of how many drivers? Because you don't want to compare that number to the total population. You'd want to compare that number to the number of people who drive.
Well, let's say, let's see here. No. This isn't saying how many people were driving and got killed. It is how many people were, I guess, drunk and fatalities caused by drunk driving. So
okay, I got you.
Anybody in the car. So I guess you could use the entire population.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I get your point. Statistically, it's not like 50%. It's quarter of 1%, maybe. But
I think we're in the hundreds of percents, aren't we?
Sure, but push come to shove, 200,000 is more fingers than you have on your hands and your feet, and it's still a very large number. There's anyway.
Okay. Moving on.
Again warned he may not accept November's election results. repeating his false claims mail-in voting would result in massive fraud, but there's no proof of widespread voter fraud in U.S. elections.
I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's a fair
You're urging
election,
them what?
I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that.
No one has established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots, that somehow it's a fraudulent process. He has no idea what he's talking about. Here's the deal. The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why? Because once the winner is declared, after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it.
Trump looked to spin criticism of his decision to hold large campaign rallies during the pandemic after Biden slammed him for constantly ignoring coronavirus safety guidelines, wearing masks, and social distancing.
We've had no negative effect, and we've had 35, 40,000
All right,
people
you wanna-
at these rallies.
He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled the social distancing, the people wearing masks, basically encouraging them not to.
All right.
Then he's a fool on it.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen,
And just 2 days after the New York Times report on his federal income tax returns, Trump provided very little defense and no evidence to refute the newspaper's claims.
I paid millions of dollars in taxes.
All right, and that's all we have there. So
Wait a second. Did he say that that no one has died from any of his rallies or anything like that?
I don't know. Did he say that?
I mean, he said that or something close to it.
Okay.
And if I recall correctly, Herman Cain
Okay.
is no longer around as a result of going to, I get, what was it, a rally or the Republican National Convention? One of those two things he went to, caught the coronavirus and died.
Caught it from a Trump rally, huh?
I think that's the official story, man.
Okay. I hadn't heard that.
Let me look it up, because these are things that are knowable.
Well, are they really?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess they're knowable. Although you constantly hear stories about hospitals who, if somebody was tested positive but then went out and got run over by a car, that death is recorded as a COVID death.
No, really?
Yeah. And also I like Biden must not have heard about all the bullshit going on with Ilhan Omar's district with those ballots, or the Project Veritas in Texas with all the fake ballots that they've found.
That's the other thing. Do you really think that that mailing ballots are highly suspect?
I don't know.
I mean, because as long as I've been voting, that I don't recall it ever having been an issue in the past.
Well, aren't they trying a new kind of isn't this whole new voting by mail thing different in some way?
I don't think it's any different than it's ever been. It's, you get your ballot, you fill it out, you put it in the mail or drop it off at the Board of Elections, and that's the mail-in ballot. I honestly don't understand how it became, mail-in ballots became such a huge issue in such a short amount of time. I don't recall there being an issue with it in 2016, but I guess, or 2008 thing. And I just, actually,
I'd have to check, but I think there's something different. I think there's something different between a mail-in ballot and your absentee ballot.
there is a difference. A mail-in ballot is, I think an absentee ballot is like if you're overseas or something like that. But we can look that up. But I mean, I guess it's really suspect to me that this that for all my voting life, this has never been an issue, but now it's an issue.
Oh, it's an issue every year. There's just nothing. There's nothing ever comes of it. You hear about election people talking about election fraud every election.
Actually, I'm glad you said that because in 2000, when was Obama elected? 2008, 2009. I remember being in Ohio at the Hamilton County Democrats office, and there was I think there were like 4 or 5 people who had been convicted of voting illegally. I think one person voted twice, one person voted via mail-in, and then went up to the polling place. But yeah, I honestly think that this whole fraudulent voting is an invention of the right. Sorry, an invention of the right / Donald Trump.
That's hilarious to me, but okay.
I will find some information, and next week we can both have a good laugh.
Okay.
Deal. Speaking of laughter.
Yeah, let's move on to this week in skullduggery.
I like skullduggery.
Skullduggery, one of my favorite words. Yeah, this was just I don't know. People can do. Yeah. Just let that soak in, Joe.
Oh.
So you apparently just scrolled down to the story.
No, I scrolled down to it earlier, but I didn't read the headline. I'm like, who's this weirdo? But okay. I see that it cost him a. No, you should read this because yeah.
I'll read this and I'll urge people to either check out our show notes or just Google search this yourself. But a man covered his face with tattoos and turned his eyes black. He says it cost him his kindergarten teaching job. A school teacher whose body, face, and tongue are covered in tattoos and who has had the whites of his eyes surgically turned black said he was prevented from teaching at a French kindergarten after a parent complained he scared their child. Now you're looking at that picture, Joe. Would that scare you as a little kid?
It scares me as an adult.
It scares me. Yeah, it scares me as an adult too.
And he just looks like he literally climbed out of hell.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, climbed out. Yeah, perfect description. Perfect description. But the teacher, Sylvain Helane, 35, still teaches children from the age of 6 up, and said that after an initial shock when they see him for the first time, his pupils see past his appearance. Pupils as in the students, not his black pupils.
Yeah, that's good to be clarified.
Yeah, all of the students and their parents were always cool with me because basically they knew me, he said, who estimated he had spent around 460 hours under the tattooist's needle.
Ow! God damn, that sounds like that hurts.
Yeah. It's only when people see me from far away that they can assume the worst. He said the last year he was teaching kindergarten at Dr. Moret Elementary School in some French place, a suburb of Paris, when the parents of a 3-year-old child complained to educational authorities. They said their son, who was not taught by Helane, had nightmares after seeing him.
Yeah, I might have nightmares tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. A couple of months later, the school authorities informed him he would no longer teach kindergarten children. He said, "I think the decision they took was quite sad." A spokesman for the local education authority said an agreement was reached with Helane to move him away from teaching kindergarten, pupils under 6 could be frightened by his appearance, the spokesman said. Despite the setback, Helene said he would stick with his chosen career. I'm a primary school teacher. I love my job. He said he started getting tattoos at the age of 27 when, while teaching at a private school in London, he had an existential crisis. Since then, he said, getting tattoos is my passion. He said he hoped to show his pupils that they should accept people who are different from the norm. Maybe when they are adults, they will be less racist and less homophobic and more open-minded, he said. Well, that's a fucking stretch.
Yeah, a little bit of a stretch. I mean, or he just may have just gone around just, traumatizing children. But, no, he said 460 hours under the needle.
That's a lot.
It's like what? It's like almost 20 days.
And it ain't like they give away tattoos for free, man. You gotta put, and I'm looking at these tattoos, and I'm pretty sure he spent a lot of money,
dude.
On this.
Type in his name and search his name. They got pictures of his full body tattoos. Like there's like no part of him that's not tattooed.
Yeah. Crazy. So
what?
That's my man for this week's in Skullduggery.
Yeah, but he strikes me. This strikes me as one of those guys who you see has the spiky hair, the tattoos all over himself. But if you were to actually go and talk to him, he's like the nicest person in the world.
Yeah, and I believe it. I understand what he's saying and everything, but come on, people, you gotta use some. If your chosen profession, if you love kids that much, and that your chosen profession is to teach kids, you know what you just gotta.
You gotta look.
You know what? I've got a few tattoos on me, but you know what? None of them reach below. The shirt sleeve of a polo.
Yeah, but you got to look the part. This guy does not look the part.
Nah.
Now, if someone were to say, "Oh yeah, this guy is the mascot for the Satanist group," he would look the part for that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I think that brings us to the end, Joe. We're around an hour and a half right now. So,
that sounds like money.
Yeah. Once again, I'd like to remind everyone to like, subscribe, share. You know the routine. Especially share. That helps us get the word out.
We care that you share.
Yeah, we do. So, I think this has been an interesting show. I really the alcohol hit me more than I expected tonight, Joe, and I hope that I didn't ruin this episode in some way because I don't know. I'm
sure you didn't ruin it.
No, not ruin it, but yeah.
Like,
I don't know. We'll have to see. I feel like I was all over the place tonight, but you know what? If you was entertained, it was all worth it.
It was all worth it.
All right, Joe, and as always, I will propose that we meet up here again in 7 days and do it all over again. What say you?
Good idea.
All righty. Put it in the books then. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will catch you next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.